Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of a fat activist complaining that bathrooms on airplanes aren't big enough. We're also going to be taking a look at several bonus clips from this same creator, including one where they go over how to get a seatbelt extender on an airplane, and another one where they say it turns out my biggest issue while dating isn't my weight, it's my personality, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
Now, I know I'm fat. I do. I'm aware. But this is, I'm in 0.5. This is unnecessary.
Okay, so you can't fit into the airplane lavatory, aka bathroom. Part of you is hanging over the sink here.
This is...
Okay, and this is an issue with the bathroom.
I'm in 0.5. This is unnecessary.
I'm in 0.5. Okay, I don't know what that means.
Right? Like, even for skinny people, this can't be comfortable.
Well, I'm guessing skinny people aren't hanging over the sink like that, so... It might be a little tight in there for skinny people, but I don't think they're having this issue.
Like, okay, like for context, this is my hand. This is the space. This is my hand, right? 1, 2, roughly 3 hands.
Okay, so the space between the sink and the wall is roughly 3 hands wide, okay?
Okay. Like...
Well, you're not sitting between the sink and the wall.
That seems a little dramatic. I feel like it might be just a tad bit dramatic.
Maybe you're being a little dramatic, right?
This is space in one egg.
Okay, so now we can see. It's the width of a toilet, plus a little bit on each side. What's the problem? I don't know why you were showing us the width of the space on the side of the sink or whatever. You were showing us the width like over here on this side on the left for some reason. But what really matters is the width of the toilet here, which appears to be a standard toilet width. It appears to be a little tight in here, but not too much smaller than a standard toilet seat, I would say. A moment ago, it looked like you couldn't really fit between this wall and this sink.
So she said it used to be 1 bathroom and made it into 2. That's dramatic. I just spoke to...
Okay, so the bathroom used to be much larger. They took out a portion of it to make more seats. Damn it, airlines!
The flight attendant, and she said that this row...
Oh, you're on the plane all by yourself. How about that? You get to pre-board and make TikToks in there like you own the joint.
And this row used to be a bathroom, and this used to be 1 bathroom. And they made it into 2 bathrooms and then removed those. And it's like, is that necessary?
That does suck that they made the bathroom smaller, but at least they let you pre-board, right? You're on the plane all by yourself, walking around, touring the bathroom, touring the seats. All the other people are waiting in the airport while you're making these TikToks on the plane.
Were those 6 extra seats like necessary? I don't know. So to recap, there was 3 bathrooms there. Now there are 2. They took 1 stall and split it into 2.
Yeah, that's annoying how they made everything suck more just so they could make a couple extra bucks.
And added 6 seats in the back. So now, there is 1 less bathroom, and it is so tight. Yes, I'm fat. I'm aware of that. But even for thin people, that was ridiculously small. And they are doing it just so they can profit and get 6 more seats out of it. And then
Yeah, of course they want to make profit. That's the purpose of a corporation. And if they do make profit, they can make things cheaper for everyone else. The more seats they remove and the fewer passengers they have on the plane, the more each seat will cost.
Everyone else is uncomfortable. Like, obviously this is going to unfortunately affect fat people, whatever, but like, in general, I think this is like, the comfort also impacts you guys, right? Like,
not really, not as much. Really, only people living in a larger body are gonna have an issue fitting into that bathroom. Or people living in a taller body, maybe.
Ultimately, the villains here is not like fat people wanting to be comfortable on flights. The villains are the airline companies that are making these seats and like spaces so small.
I wouldn't say that the airlines are villains either. They're just trying to make money, and you don't have to give them money. You don't have to use their service. You can choose a different airline or a different mode of transportation.
To squeeze every last penny they can from you.
Alright, I agree in general that airlines could use bigger seats and bigger bathrooms. I don't think we need to demand that of them. If you don't like a particular corporation or their product, you go to a different corporation and buy their product. That's kind of how the system works. I think it's an interesting angle to take to be like, yeah, it sucks that fat people can't fit into the bathrooms, but it also kind of sucks for you guys, right? Like, yeah, it kind of sucks a little bit for us, but not enough for us to go around complaining constantly. Next, caption reads, I know flying while fat can be scary, but I always make sure to ask if I can board early so I'm not anxious about bumping into anyone. Yeah, so you were on the plane all by yourself a moment ago because they let you pre-board. Or feeling like I'm rushed. I ask for a seatbelt extender as I enter and either get it in the front or they bring it to my seat. Before I board, I ask if there are any seats with an empty space, and anytime I've asked if there is space available, they will change my seat for me without issue. Okay, so it sounds like they're very accommodating, and it's actually very easy to fly while living in a larger body. If not, I just make sure not to be in a middle seat, and I'm fine. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you're an anxious fat flyer, this could help ease that anxiety. You got this.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Okay, so while it does suck that the bathrooms are a little small, at least they let you pre-board, they'll bring a seatbelt extender to you, and give you all of these other accommodations. It's funny that you start complaining about the size of the bathroom after the airline basically rolls out the red carpet for you. They're like, go ahead and board the plane ahead of everyone else, Your Majesty. You go on and board the plane, there's nobody else on there, you're like, these bathrooms aren't big enough. It's never good enough. Next.
So I always thought that my biggest issue in dating was going to be my weight. Turns out it's not that. It's actually my personality.
Alright, so it turns out it wasn't our weight this whole time, and nobody's really fat-phobic. We're just completely insufferable. That's a hard pill to swallow, huh? You're taking it all in stride, though. At least you're laughing. I remember when I first learned that I was god-awful and insufferable. It still kind of hurts me to this day, but I got over it. Next.
Growing up, I thought that if I just lost weight, then people would want to date me. Like, I thought that, like, that was the one thing that was keeping me from, like, being in a relationship, dating, whatever. Because I grew up especially in like a very, like, fat-phobic area, but whatever.
You grew up in a very fat-phobic area. Okay, so a very rich area is what you're saying.
Turns out the issue now, growing up, is not that people aren't attracted to me.
It's your personality, like you just said a moment ago.
Finding someone to be attracted to is not the most difficult part about dating. The most difficult part about dating is, like, how boring people are. It's like finding people that you find interesting and you like their personality and they like yours.
Okay, so you're not having trouble finding people that you're attracted to and are also attracted to you. The problem is that everyone is boring. Not to be a jerk or anything, but are you interesting? If we go on a date, are you just gonna start talking about fat liberation constantly? Because that's not really piquing my interest, personally. You have a lot of expectations of others. A moment ago, you said the problem was not your weight, it's your personality. Now you're saying the problem is other people's personality. Which is it?
You like their personality and they like yours. Like, the amount of people that I've scared off, not with my size, but with my personality, because I'm, like, a little intense.
Oh, man. Okay, so is it that everybody else is boring, or that you're a little intense and scaring people off with your personality? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me.
And amongst other things.
Amongst other things. And then up here it says, violent mental illness. Violent mental illness. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's scaring anybody off or not. It could be that you're a little boring, or it could be the violent mental illness. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy with a microphone observing things.
Also, like, I don't find a lot of people, like, interesting enough to talk to. Like, if you're not funny, if you're not intelligent, if you're not kind,
Stop. My ears are burning. Sorry.
Like, it's not gonna work, and I didn't.
You have a lot of expectations, friend. You just got done saying yourself that it might be you that's the problem. Is the problem how boring other people are, or is it how you're a little intense and have violent mental illness, as you put it? And I'm not saying that's automatically a disqualifier. I've been with plenty of people with violent mental illness before.
Realize how important those factors were.
Yeah, being with somebody that's not a bore is very important, of course. Looks even don't even go that far. If somebody is hot as hell but they're boring, get out of here. What you need to find is somebody that's hot, but they don't know that they're hot, so they haven't been getting by in life based on their looks. A lot of people are really hot, and they're really boring because they've gotten by on their looks. People will be like, wow, you're really hot. You want to get hired at this company? You want a promotion? You want this candy? Would you like this car? Like, they just start getting all this stuff just for being hot, and they don't have to put forth any effort at all. So they don't, and they don't develop any personality. You need to find a hot person with low self-esteem. That's what we all need. Somebody that's hot as hell, but they don't know it. So they've actually developed their personality, and they're not a cocky douche, right? You need somebody with an ugly duckling story. They grew up ugly or whatever, unattractive, not accepted by everybody else. But then as they got older, they got all hot and stuff. So they have that cool personality of the ugly person, but they're actually hot. You know what I mean? That's the best of both worlds right there.
Yeah.
Why is everybody so damn boring? I don't know, but if we have a lot of lofty expectations of others, we should be pretty dope ourselves. Next, now she's going to be responding to this comment that reads, if you don't value yourself, why would anyone else?
If someone doesn't love themselves, then I take it upon myself to love them even more.
Okay, so someone else should love you even more than you don't love yourself? Or whatever.
Show them that they are worthy of love, they are worthy of kindness, they are worthy of being treated well.
That's a weird response to that. It's honestly pointless to try to love somebody that doesn't love themselves. It's honestly pointless to try to help somebody that's not willing to help themselves. Because you can't learn somebody else's lesson for them.
That's the way that I operate in this world, right? So my assumption is, let's say I do see someone who doesn't value themselves. I will value them enough for the both of us. That's the way that I move through the world.
Okay, that doesn't really answer this question at all. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? If you don't value yourself, why would anyone else? And your response is to say, I value people who don't value themselves. Which is completely pointless. You can't be confident for somebody else, and you can't teach somebody else self-love. That's a lesson that everyone has to learn on their own. If you're trying to help someone that doesn't love themselves, they're going to continually hurt themselves along the way, and you're fighting an uphill battle.
I think all human beings are inherently worthy of value and love. But hey, you don't have to agree. That being said, are you not tired?
But hey, you don't have to agree. Right. I like how you tried to flip that around on them and you literally didn't even answer the question.
Are you not tired of this rhetoric that just because someone exists in fact?
Are you not tired of not answering a question? Like, when somebody has a direct question, you dance around it and play all these deflection games. Are you not tired of that? Are the mental gymnastics not tiring?
Why they don't value themselves? You don't know anything. You don't know anything about that person's life.
Yeah, you do. If you see somebody that's addicted to drugs or morbidly obese, they don't value themselves, they don't love themselves, because they're not taking good care of themselves. That doesn't mean that I'm going to judge them or treat them negatively, but you can very clearly see that they don't value themselves. And if you don't value yourself, I can't help you. Literally. There's nothing I can do to help you.
I don't know anything about the way they feel about themselves. Like, I value myself very highly. Some may say too much. I don't know how.
Some may say too much. Okay, well, the comment said, if you don't value yourself, why would anyone else? Some people would say that words are cheap and we could talk about loving ourselves till we're blue in the face. But if our actions don't show that, it doesn't mean anything, right? If we're constantly harming ourselves, but we proclaim self-love.
You choose to live your life, but I choose to live my life with kindness, with care, for my fellow people, for myself, I think there's a lot of value in that. And just...
Okay, so why would anyone else value you if you don't? Because you haven't answered that question at all. You went on this tirade that has literally nothing to do with the price of tea in China, talking about how you value other people for them and how you value yourself. You literally did not even answer the question, my friend.
Because you view me in a way that is not inherently of value.
Right, way to try to turn that around. They said that you don't value yourself, actually. So why would anyone else? I'm sorry to have to keep reading that and reminding you of what it said. Fat activists have a really hard time staying focused.
Does not mean that that's the reality. I suggest looking inward, thinking more about the way that you treat other people, and maybe learning to value yourself a little more.
Okay, so why would anybody else value you if you don't value yourself? I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep going back to that because you didn't answer it.
Maybe learning the inherent value of people instead of commenting on strangers' posts. Because if you're not living in a kind way, it seems like you're the one that doesn't value yourself.
Okay, so way to try to turn that around and be like, nuh-uh, you don't value yourself. And that's why it's very difficult to take anything a fat activist says seriously. They can never have a debate in good faith. They always try these weird little deflection tactics. You go on this tirade, and by the end, you're the victim, and the person asking you a legitimate question is the bad guy. And they need to learn and grow up and all this other goofy crap when all they did was ask you a question. It's just really sad, you know, that you guys live in such a fat-phobic world. So you're not going to answer the question. Okay. Again. So personally, I think that's very silly. There's no point in trying to love somebody who doesn't love themselves, and I disagree with everything else that she said as well. But what do you think? Do we need bigger bathrooms and airplanes? Is our personality the real reason that people don't want to date us, and it has less to do with our weight? And is it a waste of time to try to love somebody who doesn't love themselves? Leave a comment below. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.